Hey Zen friends, welcome to Gemini Sun Season and happy birthday to all you Gemini Sun babies. In this video, we're going to talk about what energy this Gemini Sun brings in for you, and we'll also have a collective tarot and oracle card reading to see what Spirit wants you to know. Plus, at the end, there's a bonus card for each individual zodiac sign on what area of your life can use some renewed communication or where you're ready to explore. So let's jump in. Gemini season usually runs from around May 20th to around June 20th each year, and it can bring in an emphasis on communication, learning, and social interaction. And it's a time when we tend to be more curious, more chatty, and we crave new experiences and new knowledge. It can be a stimulating and fun period, and it can also be challenging to maintain some focus and commitment. So let's take a look at some of the key aspects of Gemini season energy to be aware of. So kind of the positive aspects of Gemini energy is increased communication and socialization. So Gemini season brings a heightened desire to connect with others, engage in conversations, and expand one's social circle. So you might have friends or family reach out to you during this time out of the blue, and especially people you might not have talked to in a while. Also, intellectual curiosity is spiked. This season encourages seeking new information, new learning, and exploring various ideas. So learning something new during this period is highly supported. Also, adaptability and flexibility. Gemini's mutable nature makes it a good time to be adaptable to change and explore different approaches. So if you're looking for other individuals to compromise with you, this is also highly supported during this time. Fun and lightheartedness is also an energy that comes with Gemini. Gemini season is often associated with a lighter, more playful energy, making it a good time for enjoyment and socializing. So this is a great time to plan a party or a gathering. Travel and exploration are also very supported. So the desire for new experiences can lead to increased travel and exploration. And usually Gemini is more shorter travel, where like Sagittarius is foreign travel and very distant travel. So during this Gemini season, we can say vacation, right? All right, and then some things that we can keep an eye out for are difficulty with focus and commitment. Again, Gemini's mutable nature can make it difficult to stay focused on long-term goals or make significant commitments. So being aware that this energy exists is the first step. We can put reminders around us about this energy and do those things that help us get back on task. I like Mel Robbins' 5-second rule, where when you see or know something needs to get done, you can count down like a rocket ship. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom, do it. It definitely helps me with procrastination, and it can get us in that habit. Indecision and flightiness. This season might bring a tendency to be indecisive or jump from one idea to another. So it's like spiritual ADHD. But be gentle with yourself if this happens. Ask Spirit and your spiritual posse for information that helps decisions be no-brainers during this time. They want to help make our paths more easier, but we usually need to ask them for the assistance, because before we come down here, we told them we want to do it all by ourselves and try to do it as much as we could on our own. So ask, they will answer. And something that helps me when I have so many ideas going through my head that it feels a bit overwhelming, or I'm jumping all over the place, is to write it all down. When I get it out of my brain and onto paper or onto a computer or phone screen, whatever, my brain sees that it is captured somewhere, so I won't lose it, and it knows it doesn't have to keep looping the information for me. Its job is done, And then I can prioritize the list and focus on the very first important and urgent item. Gemini season can bring in overstimulation. So the consistent influx of information and new experiences that we are inundated with in our day and age can be overwhelming for us. I've made it a practice in every season to try to limit what I watch in the news and in the world. There's so much information we receive about things that are out of our control that I try to come back to sweeping in front of my own door instead of trying to go out and sweep and control things in front of everyone else's door. But during this Gemini season, it can help to double down on minding our own business. So in essence, Gemini season is a time to embrace the lighter side of life, enjoy social connection, and expand our intellectual horizons. However, it's also important to be mindful of potential challenges related to focus and related to commitment. A couple of practices, some tips for working with Gemini seasonal energies is one, enhance your communication skills, especially around active listening. Good communication is not just about expressing your own thoughts, but also about truly listening to others. A couple of amazing books are Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg and The Next Conversation by Jefferson Fisher. Also, embracing adaptability can help. If we are resistant to something or someone, we can spend some time investigating what we are afraid of, why we are feeling we need to defend a belief, why we are not opening our mind and heart to a situation. A great resource, a great book for this is Mel Robbins' The Let Them Theory. Amazing, amazing book. Also, we can engage in diverse activities during this time. And what a great time to try something new. What is something that makes your heart sing that you haven't tried in a while or not at all? Get it scheduled and enjoy it. And if you don't know, I don't know what I want to do or what I like to do, ask your friends or your family if they have something they've wanted to try and see if it's something that could be an option for you. And then lastly, you can practice mindfulness. Purpose to have alone time every day during this season to reflect on what you were grateful for during the day. Or if you're having your mindfulness, early in the morning, what were you grateful for the previous day? This raises our love vibration and puts in an energy of receiving. It can bring our focus to the things that we're grateful for, and then those things will expand. So I hope all this information helps make your path easier as we embrace the airy Gemini energy. So now, let's see what messages Spirit has for us through the Tarot and Oracle card reading. And make sure to stay tuned until the end because there is a bonus card for each individual zodiac sign on what area of your life could use some renewed communication and or where you're ready to explore. All right, let's find out what Spirit has for us. We're going to start off using these Beltane Oracle. Beltane is like May Day, May 1st, so we're still in that energy for a little bit. So I love this deck. It's from the Seasons of the Witch series. They've got, I think 8 decks or something like that. But I love these because they have all the celebrations throughout the year. So let's give these a shuffle, and we're going to try a spread that they recommend in their little book here. This is what the little front looks like, too, on the actual card deck. So if you're interested in picking these up, I love the information, and they have a lot of interesting things in there, too, about little things you can do, like certain bath herbs and different potions and different things that can connect us to Earth. So I really love this series, obviously. All right, so let us jump in. There's going to be 6 cards we're going to pull. It's called the Creation Spread, and this is all about for starting something new. So number 1 is, what could you focus on as the main theme of this new project, whatever this new thing, right? All right, so they want that one for number one. And then number two is, what obstacles could you face in approaching this new? So we'll do that one. And then how can you overcome this obstacle? Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Number four is, what action can you take now to be successful? All right, there we go. And then the outcome of this project based on energies after you have this reading. And then lastly, is there any additional advice that you need to know? So what else? All right, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Let's put these out of the way over here. And we'll scooch these. We'll put them up here like this. So we'll also pull some tarot here in a moment. See what else they want you to know. All right. I think that's good enough there, right? So number one here is, what could you focus on as the main theme of this project? Wow, we got the oak tree. Beautiful, beautiful card. And this says, don't just look within, dive deeply into the eternal realms of knowing. Ooh. So definitely an energy here. Card number 27. This is like this new project feels like it's an invitation to seeking higher wisdom and diving into the spiritual world. So that's the oak. The overall energy is wisdom here. And it says, wisdom isn't a static thing. It evolves, changes, and adapts as you learn new ways of knowing. You know, we can know in our head, but it's that knowing in our heart, right? Before you can be wise, you must be willing to accept that you don't have all of the answers. Oak is here to change your perspective. Like an old, wise grandfather, Oak guides you to evaluate your beliefs to see if anything is out of alignment with who you are today. Perhaps what you knew to be true before is now directly opposite from what you currently believe, or perhaps who you thought you were supposed to be when you were younger is now completely different from who you actually are, right? Just like wisdom, your goals will evolve as time goes on. Some goals will be left behind, while others will morph into something else entirely. It's important to regularly check back in with where you are to make sure you're still situated on the most illuminated path. If you're confused about your next steps, Oak reminds you to reach out to the unseen support all around you. Commune with nature, the spirits, and the universe, and ask them to guide you. That's on page 88. So I like that power number coming in here. 8 for me is like a number of flow and movement, so it is time. If you've been feeling stagnant, here we go. This energy supports reaching out and learning more things from the higher realms. I love that. So what obstacles could you face is next. Let's see what we have here. We got the Green Man, card number 15 coming in here. It says, all that I desire comes to me easily and effortlessly. I know this to be true, for I am abundant in all that I do. So card number 15, I like that. So the obstacle is these beliefs that I have to work hard to achieve anything of value, right? It's kind of what's taught to us growing up. And I love that because one of the kind of the affirmations that Spirit's been giving me lately is like abundance comes to me easily and effortlessly. And so that easily and effortlessly is a great energy to embrace, right? So I like that. Let's see what else they bring in here for you. What else about this obstacle? Yeah, this is about abundance. So it's beliefs about abundance, limiting beliefs about abundance and our self-worth. Everything the Green Man touches turns to gold, or rather green, that is. He is the ultimate expression of abundance, and more specifically, an abundance mindset. When the Green Man invites you to his earthly lair, it is to infuse you with the spirit of wealth. Money will flow to you with ease. Opportunities will suddenly come knocking, or you will find the fulfillment of a goal is just within reach. It's also a sign that you are on the right path and what you're doing now is working, so keep at it. This card shows that you are living life and enjoying all of the fruits of your labor. You feel more confident and sure of yourself, and other people have taken notice of this and seek your advice, knowing you have much to share. The green man is also a giver and provider of wealth. Be generous with your abundance, both financially and spiritually. Share your knowledge and invite others to partake in your good fortune. I really like that energy because, again, this is talking about the obstacle that you could face. And once we overcome that limiting belief, we're able to not only connect and have access to that higher knowledge. This is about sharing it with the world in your own unique, special way. Don't feel forced of, oh, I got to do this. I got to do a blog or a YouTube channel or a book or blah, blah, blah. It could be painting. It could just be one-on-one with people. Whatever brings joy to your heart. It's not about, forcing yourself out of fear to do something. It's about following your heart and following your joy and sharing that information. I love, here's the small tree and here's the oak. So you start to share a little bit and then you start to share all this other information that you start to get as well. All right, so how can you overcome this obstacle of limiting beliefs about abundance? You have milk and butter, card number 25. Beautiful card here. And it says, like the silk off one's flesh, I am the giver. I am your eternal. Ooh, I like that. All right. And that's card number 25. Let's see what this does. So how can this help you overcome limiting beliefs? This is about belief. Well, there you go. So the universe always provides, no matter your circumstances. And milk and butter here is here to remind you to lean on spirit for all of your needs. Spirit is your eternal provider, your unlimited source of nourishment. All that is required is your belief. An intention given to the universe has no power if you do not believe it'll be answered. Milk and butter brings the message of faith. If you have not seen your dreams coming to fruition, it is because deep down you're not a believer in your magic. This could be a subconscious decision, one you aren't even aware of. Perhaps you have set an intention for increased abundance, but express your lack of belief in words such as, money doesn't grow on trees, or maybe you've worked a spell for business success only to later question whether or not you have what it takes to be successful, right? Or this belief in lack, right? Like we were talking about, I have to work really, 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 really hard. I have to give this much to receive this little, right? A lack of faith can and often is expressed in the quiet doubts and criticisms of your mind, but a witch who is tapped into Source knows that all of her questions will be answered and all of her desires met. I love this. It's so perfect because this reminds me of the Five of Pentacles energy in the tarot, which is this belief in lack, the fear of being abandoned, left behind, left out in the cold. I'm not enough. I'm not going to have enough. But also there's a root in that because when it goes to the Six of Pentacles, that of course follows the Five of Pentacles, it is this energy of an out of balance, giving and receiving, that's below the subconscious. These old beliefs that were formed when we were children, when our emotional child was being developed, 7 years old and younger, even into the womb, where we were getting this information as a little child that I have to give, and the important people in our life were only given back a little bit from our perspective. Parents are usually the prime suspects because, when people are having children, usually that age, they are trying to make sure we have a home and food and maintaining connection with their families, friends, and work and job, and then also maybe you have more than one sibling too. And there's all this energy that they only have so much to give. Parents have, all this. It's crazy time, right? And we can understand that as adults now looking back, but the inner child still has that way out of balance giving and receiving energy that's in there. And so if you haven't brought that up to consciously look at it, it's still out of balance, but we can do things to bring that into balance there. And I do have it's a Take 10 with Zen around the Six of Pentacles. I will try to remember it. In fact, let me just write it down real quick here because I will forget it. Let me just put a notation here. Six of Pentacles. I will have it in the description box of the video down below, linked, so you can go check it out because it talks about how you can bring that from way out of balance, like 1,000 love coins to deserve one, down to 1 to 1, which allows things to flow into us. So I'll share that down below. All right, let's go on to number 4. So what actions can you take now to be successful? You have 4. You can chant, baby, chant. And this says, hear me loud, hear me roar, for I am here in my truth. I like that. It's the throat chakra energy, right? Because even though, like, whoa, what arms and hands have to do with, the throat chakra, but if you put your hands out to either side of you straight out, that's at the throat chakra energy level. So this is about action. And this is speaking your truth, speaking the capital T truth that you are worthy, right? So communication, that's Gemini, communication isn't just about listening. Oh my God. I think I actually mentioned that in the introduction, those exact words. Communication isn't, oh, wait, it's not just about listening. It said something like communication isn't just about talking, it is also about listening. So this is saying communication isn't just about listening. It's true that you must be willing to hear different sides of a story and give others their space to be heard, but you also need your time to share what is within your soul. Here's that sharing of this information again. You've pulled chant because your voice needs to be heard. The stuff that you have learned from Spirit and that you will learn from Spirit is to be shared. There is a strength and authority in you that is ready to take charge of your situation. Not only that, but you may find others have been looking to you for guidance, and your willingness to share your truth gives others permission to share theirs as well. It's like hearing a sudden voice in a room of silence singing the beginning of a moving song. Then, one by one, others join in until the room is full of a melodic thunder. Wow, I love that analogy. You have more influence than you probably realize, and it's time for you to step up by allowing others to see that you will be silenced no more. I love that. And we do. We wonder, what do I have to help other people and share with other people? What are they going to glean from me? And the awareness is like, I know, like I used to think, well, my responsibility is I need to be a guru of some sort where people follow me and I help change their lives and, they only follow me or whatever. And that's a lot of pressure. I was very relieved when messages were coming through from Spirit that your life experiences can be one page in someone else's survival manual for their journey. So the stuff you have survived through and thrived through can be a page in someone else's survival manual, but you don't need to take on the responsibility for their entire life. Just share what has helped you, and whatever people will glean from it is up to them, but sharing, giving them the opportunity is what's important, right? So I love that. And then what's the outcome of this knowingness and the seeking and sharing? We have inner power. Look at that. Bam, shazam. Let it be known, no will or desire is more powerful than I embodied. I love that. Solar plexus chakra, yellow energy bursting out here. But stepping into your power, getting your power. This is unleashing, is the energy. And it says, magic is more than a wave of the hand or a chant of words. It's a state of being. Magic is what happens when you are so settled in your power that light radiates from your soul. You shine so bright that the universe sees itself reflected in you. To be a great manifester, you must allow your magic to unfold within your spirit without limitation or hesitation. You have pulled inner power because there is a force within you that you have held back for too long. And to access this power, you must learn to trust in your sacred gifts. Don't question the signs when they come. If something feels significant, that's because it is. And if something feels like a divine message, that's because the universe intentionally chose this pathway, knowing it would grab your attention. Each whisper you embrace brings you one step closer to unleashing the totality of your manifestation power. Additionally, you are in a cycle of manifestation when this card comes to a reading. Do not let this pass you by, for it is your power that drew this good fortune to you. Yeah, and that has to do, going back to this Six of Pentacles that I'll share, like I said, in the description box, because when we have this out of balance belief, our little inner child puts up like this force field that even though we're doing the manifestation, we're doing the things, focusing on gratitude, not on lack or need or want, because those are all not have energies that pushes things away. When we get that manifestation energy going and we're in that place of gratitude, we ask Creator once, and then the rest of it is, I'm grateful for what I have now and what I have had. That have energy brings more in. But if we have this force filled up of worth, or worthlessness, I feel like I'm worth less than what's coming in. Our inner child has this force field that keeps it out of our life until those force fields come down. Those force fields come down when we go from 1,000 to 1 down to 1 to 1, and then all that stuff can come flooding in. So I love this power. There's so many things that this power brings for you. All right, and then anything else, any additional advice that you need to know right now around all of this? You have self-worship, card 37. Yep, I like it. My hands fold as I speak to the stars, watching as the sky holds its breath. It's in stillness that I find all that I am and all of the divinity within me. Yep. So I had mentioned in the intro, it's important for mindfulness and spending time focusing on gratitude, focusing on who we are, connecting with spirit. So that's perfect here. Card number 37. This is about returning to self-care. So you are in need of some major self-care as you are spread too thin and give too much of yourself to too many people, projects, and ideas. The real spiritual work happens in the moments when you make your well-being a priority. Be a little self-centered and focus on nourishing yourself for a change. Worshiping yourself isn't selfish, but rather it's a sign of self-respect and an acknowledgement of the need to save yourself before you're in a position to help others. This message is amplified when it is combined with indulgence. We didn't do that, but I love that because it is you fill up first and then everyone else gets the overflow. Instead of being like a barrel that you plug everyone in to, you give to everyone else first and then you're exhausted and you continue to give till you're resentful. This is this beautiful returning back to you, filling up and then like filling up with your own connection with spirit, your own knowledge of spirit, and letting it overflow out to everyone else. But they get the overflow. You get to feel full for a change. Self-worship can also mean you have been putting yourself down focusing on your flaws rather than seeing how beautiful and worthy you are. There you go. There's that worth again. How you speak to yourself has more impact than the words of anyone else, as the harsh words you speak about yourself drain you of your energy. Negative self-talk can create blocks, doubts, and limiting beliefs that will prevent you from experiencing the blessings that you are due. It's so perfect. Exactly everything we've been talking about. This is your reminder to worship yourself and find compassion and forgiveness even for your most unforgiving parts. And then there's a self-worship ritual. So we'll do this. Put on your favorite music. Then sit in front of a mirror and start to wipe it clean. Burn some sacred smoke and cleanse the mirror and yourself. When this has been done, light a red candle and stare at your reflection for a minimum of 10 minutes in silence. Ooh. Allow yourself to be present and connect to yourself. Practice self-compassion and don't tolerate any judgments. When you're ready, say hello to yourself as if you're talking to your bestie. You should totally be your own BFF. This ritual is more of a check-in. Begin a conversation with yourself. Start to chat about your day, what happened, what you are grateful for, and what pissed you off. This is a great way to allow yourself to face your emotions and speak about them. When responding, make sure to practice self-compassion and speak from a place of care and love. At first, this will seem awkward, but in no time, you will learn to communicate with yourself and give yourself the answers, nourishment, and empowerment you need. Wow, I love that. Beautiful, beautiful. These are just such perfect cards that just all supported one another, and I love these. Let me just scooch those up here. So great message about empowerment, and definitely if this resonated, check out that Six of Pentacles in the bottom, the link down in the bottom, because that can help transform here. All right, then I'm going to do the Elemental North Tarot here. Let's see what else. What else do they want you to know here? We're on this energy, and then stay tuned because we will have we'll pull some cards for each individual zodiac sign for some additional information too. So they do want this one. Okay, they want this one too. But that one's first. And then this one, and then this one, and then this one. And then these three. These. And those. Whoops. And a bonus card over here. All right. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Devil card, which is Capricorn, Saturn energy. I like that because they are the grandfather, kind of like the oak tree, but they're they give us challenges, and if we do the challenge, we get the reward. So I like that. That's like the underlying energy. Just this encouragement that as long as we do that, as long as we look at this and do that, we do definitely get the reward that comes with it all. All right, so let's take a look here. So we got the Six of Wands. I like this. Victory, energy, and support. So we definitely are supported here, and we can ask of Spirit to show us things. They are so excited when we reach out to them and connect with them. And, as I said in the introduction, a lot of times, we come down here going, I want to try to do as much as I possibly can on my own. But at some point, we're like, all right, I'm kind of stagnant. I've learned what I wanted to learn. I want more. And so this is this like cheerleading of look how much you've done, look how far you've come. And we're so ready to help you go to the next step. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, new opportunity, new abundance available in the outside world. Going back to that gratitude, the importance of gratitude for what you do have, for what you have had, does activate the green man to bring in the abundance to come in more for you here. You have the Three of Wands. Yeah. This is a great energy because it is with new information that we glean and learn, we end up taking a different direction. So we've been headed off in this direction, this direction, this direction. But with the new information, we're like, we're going to take a little exit ramp and go in a different direction. But it's us choosing with new information to go a different direction. This isn't like a too bad against your will kind of thing. This is you choosing that. And so don't get so attached to, well, it has to be this way. Be open to change and making change, right? It is for your benefit. Yep, you got the moon card coming in. I'm getting a message that the Gemini new moon that comes in here after Gemini season, the first new moon after when it starts is it's in Gemini. So definitely use those new moon wishes to help you with this too. I'll have a separate video for that as we get closer to that new moon. So talking about how you can make the most of those new moon wishes. So definitely do that if you want. Yeah, Nine of Cups. What is the dream come true? What is it that you want to head off into? I feel like you do get clarity through here because as you get the fruit of your labor, as things unfold here, as more abundance comes in, you realize, well, I've been doing a lot of what my mind wants me to do, but with this moon card, with this emotional energy, it's about following your heart. Where does your heart want to lead you? This could be with these cards all coming in around one another. It's like you going a different direction, you changing your dream a little bit because you can't figure it all out. It's a lot of responsibility to put on a human to figure out their entire life. But we can, for a while, we follow our mind until our heart gets tired of just existing and it wants to live. Then we can start following, where is my joy leading me now? Where's my heart leading me right now in my life? And we can go do that. And then eventually the heart will lead us in a different direction, in a different direction, in a different direction. And we can go on this amazing adventure, right? Yep. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is the energy of putting in the blood, the sweat, the tears. We start to see the fruit, but it's also a transformational card. We talked about page 88. Here's that flow of the outside world that changes. So doing these things really, really impacts your external world. We change from the inside out, and as you do these inner changes and have been doing these inner changes, your outside world has been changing, and then this really brings a huge change in the outside world. Yeah. 10 of Cups, the ultimate joy. 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups here. So you find your self-love, you get this love boost from the beautiful beings of unconditioned love and light on the other side. And that flows out into all the other areas of your life. One of my favorite tarot cards in a deck has like the Ace of Cups at the top, and then it has 2 and 3 and 4. So what's that? 4, 7, 9. Yeah, it would be the 10 of Cups. So it starts off with the Ace of Cups at the top. That's our self-love, our self-worth. When that fills up, it fills up all the other cups in our life. So I like that reference coming back. Our inner power, once we find that on the inside and we fill up and overflow, then we start to feel this joyfulness in our life instead of lack and bitterness and resentment, right? I love that. And then you have the Hanged One, yeah. So this is another transformative energy. You can see here it actually has a little butterfly in the cocoon. I love that. Usually it's a hanged man, someone hanging upside down by a leg, but I always love this analogy of the butterfly. You know, caterpillar goes into a cocoon to lose parts of itself to be able to go in a different direction. It stops wanting to eat leaves and walking on the ground of the jungle, right? And it seeks nectar. It wants to go from flower to blossom, not eating and consuming the leaves, but actually helping pollinate and bring more plants. And then it can migrate for hundreds, thousands of miles that a caterpillar could never think that it could even do that. And then your bonus card, let's see here, Wheel of Fortune. Yep, it is for you for this. To go through here. Even your human, once you go through this and do this, is like, I see that. Sometimes, you know, everything that happens in our life is for us, the tune of for you, the fortune. But sometimes our human is like, how is that for me? When this card comes out, even our human is like, wow, Jupiter energy, it's expansive energy and growth energy and abundance energy. Again, all this abundance energy. So it's definitely worth it here. So I love this. Powerful, powerful message for us for this Gemini season. Now, hold on, don't run away yet. We're going to pull cards here in a moment for each individual zodiac sign to see for you a special message. So I'll be right back. All right, so we are back. We're going to be asking here for each individual zodiac sign, what area of your life can you use some renewed communication and or where you're ready to explore? So let's start off with the Gemini Sun babies. Since we always usually start at either end, let's kind of start in the middle-ish. We'll jump around and see what we have here. So we've got Gemini. And actually, let's just pull cards for everyone here. So Leo, let's just jump around here. We've got Leo energy. Let's look at Virgo. So Virgos, let's look here at, let's see, we got Libra and Scorpio here. And I feel like this is Aquarius over here. And then let's see, Sagittarius. We got Sagittarius and Capricorn. And let's do Cancer over here. And then this is Taurus. They do want this for Aries and this for Pisces. All right. So we've got all the cards here. Let me just put these over here. And this is the Sambucus, if you want to see what that looks like there. This is a great little tarot deck. I like them. All right. So let's look at Gemini. So Gemini, you've got the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. So this is a communication. This is like taking an emotional inventory where, you kind of look at what emotions, do you have below the surface? Anything that's kept below the surface, it takes energy to keep that there, right? But also relationships. So what below in the subconscious, what kind of emotions from when we were like 7 years old and younger, what can be released? And then that energy we're using to keep it comes back to us. And then also, what relationships have I been giving 80, 90%, even 70% of the energy into the relationship, and the other person only consistently giving 10, 20, 30%? Those relationships can be looked at, and maybe you already know, get rid of some, they're already on the chopping block. Now's the time to release those. And then also maybe those that you're like, well, I'm going to give them a chance. You can go to 50%. And then if they don't make up for any of the difference, it'll just drift away. And you don't have to say, this is over. You can just let it drift away. All that energy you get back. And a lot of times you get this kind of message when you're preparing for either a person coming into your life or an event coming into your life, where you are building up this emotional bank to be able to share that. So I like that. So that's what they have there for you. Yours is more around communication and where you are having those emotional energy, where it's being invested and becoming aware of it so you can make changes with that as well. So I like that. And then let's jump here. We'll just go 3 from the end. We'll jump to Capricorn. I know I'm going out of order. You got the Wheel of Fortune. So there's this great energy in here, and I feel like this is more about where you're ready to explore. And there is this energy that comes in, with that Saturn energy we had as the bonus card in the end with the Devil card, right? That's your energy, Saturn, doing the work, getting the reward. And I feel like, especially with that previous reading, the collective reading we did, it is about finding your dream, letting go of old things so that you can move into new things. What thoughts and beliefs and mindsets are holding you back from heading in the direction that really is kind of like this faded way in which you have been wanting to express that love inside you with the world? So I feel like you're reaching this stagnant point in your life where you're ready for something that feels like more, but it starts inward, you fill up and then it rolls out to the outside world. It isn't about, Capricorn does roll over our 10th house of the the Wheel of Fortune is 10 of work and tasking, but it also is about our career doesn't have to be separate from our dream. It's about how can you mesh and bring those together. I feel like that is where you're ready to explore. So I love that. And then let's jump here to Cancer. So Cancer, you've got the Page of Cups. So you are ready here to take your self-love to a new level here. Renewed communication and where you're ready to explore. I feel like yours is combined here. You are a water sign. You are all about the love and emotion anyway. So this is right in, tune with your energy. But I feel like this is becoming aware and exploring and realizing that your self-love is always reflected in every relationship that you have. And so if there's something that you feel is kind of maybe out of whack with someone in a relationship or thinking about the past and reviewing that, you can realize, where was I with my self-love? And that's why that was reflected there. That's why that was reflected in this relationship. And if it's something currently going on, you can be like, okay, if I feel this way, that there's this disconnect emotionally with someone, where's that disconnect within me? Because that's all you can control. You can't control if there's a disconnect with them on that side. You can only realize that, they're a mirror for you and they're trying to show you something about your own self-love so that you can use that and glean from that and release yourself from that to where in the future, you won't have to have that be an obstacle anymore. So I love that for you. So that's what they have for you, Cancer. And let's jump to Sagittarius here. Oops, let's knock everything around. So Sagittarius, you have the Ace of Wands. Well, here's your fire energy. I like this. This is this exploring your power. Where are you focusing your energy? Where are you aiming your arrow, right? Because wherever you aim that is what you grow and expand. And so when we focus in on our want and need of something, whether that's a job or a career or a relationship or love or money or whatever it may be, when we're focusing in on that need and want, that's the not have energy. Because the only time I need or want something is if I feel I don't have something. So that don't have that energy, when I focus in on it, what does it bring? More don't having. It actually starts taking things away. It repels away the thing that we're trying to draw and attract to us. So there's this wonderful transformation of focusing on gratitude. What am I grateful for that's in my life right now or have had in my life? Having energy brings in more having energy. Not have energy or don't have energy brings in more not have, don't have. So I like this because you can, let's say it's a relationship that you're looking for. I want love in my life. You can focus on the love that is currently in your life. It doesn't have to be romantic love. Just what am I grateful for about the love I have in my life? Self-love, love from a creator, love from family, friends, whatever. Also, what have I really been grateful for about the love that I've experienced in the past? Because when we're focusing all on that, that allows creator to know, this is what you want to bring towards you, right? If I'm focusing on, they never gave me this, they never gave me that, they never gave me that, we draw in more people that aren't going to give you that or give you that or give you that. So I love the power that comes in here for you with that. All right. And then Leos, let's take a look here. You got the 9 of Coins. So 9 of Pentacles. This is a great independence kind of energy that comes in here. And I love that because I really feel like when in our collective reading around abundance, I feel like this is a huge thing for you about being independent, not, having this belief that I need to depend on others to bring energy to me or bring abundance to me or love to me or anything to me. But that this 9 is the hermit's journey. It's I can be complete within myself. Everyone else is just the above and beyond extra. We're taught, and we didn't really talk about it too much in that previous, but the 5 of Pentacles is that energy of or the Five of Coins in this deck, is this energy of fear of abandonment. We only realize fear of abandonment when we depend on a human, thinking they're the ones that bring us our sustenance in each moment. Because humans, when we feel unsafe and out of control, our little inner child freaks out and it wants to pull back everything from itself. That's where we experience abandonment. Someone went into fear, they pulled everything back, and we're left like, what happened? We think they abandoned us, but they were just freaking out, going into self-preservation. But when we realize that it's the Creator that brings us, they are source, they have endless resources. They never go into fear or fight or flight, so they never abandon us. They always make sure we have everything we need in each moment and more, because they love us. They don't just give us bread and water. They want to give us more because they love us so much. And so we move from this place and seeing lack in the outside world to feeling abundance. Plus all that stuff we talked about in that our say community reading, but our collective reading, it's a community, really fits in here too. So really, really emphasized for you there. Right? So that's what they have for you, Leos. Scorpio, you have the Magician. So this magician energy, I like this for you because I feel like this is what you're ready to explore. It's kind of like this, Sagittarius energy have with the Ace of Wands, because the magician normally does hold the Ace of Wands to the heaven. That is our higher self. There's usually an infinity symbol, and it's us bringing that energy through us into the outside world. But this energy is also about realizing you have everything that you need within you. And I feel like what you're ready to explore during this period, in addition to connecting to your higher self, really stepping into your power, realizing how powerful you truly are, is also this awareness that you don't need anything from the outside world. You are complete right now, 100%. You are a perfect mountain. You've come down to wander around the mountain to understand who you are, what you want to do, in this lifetime. But it's all about exploration. It's not like you have to achieve things in order to get a good check mark or a good grade from spirit world. This adventure is all about understanding you, who you really are, this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. So I feel like in Scorpio, this is so much your energy about diving deep into the mystery of who you really are. And I feel like that's where you're ready to explore into your relationship with your higher self. So I love that for you. All right. And then we're jumping to Virgo here. So Virgo, you got the Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles. Here is your earth energy here. And this is all about Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. Your journey as Virgos is all about your body and your health, or a lot of it is focused in on that. So self-care is very important here. And I feel like where you're already for some renewed communication and exploration is listening to your body. Virgos can have such great relationships with their body, asking their body. One of my close friends, she's a Virgo, and she does muscle testing. And her body speaks to her so clearly. And I really feel that's the kind of energy that they're focusing in here, is becoming aware of what is your body telling you? Where do you feel things? When you can communicate with your body, you can even do automatic writing and talk to your body and see what messages you pick up from your body. But I feel like there's like this renewed communication, a heightened communication that can come in, and exploring the relationship and the how your body communicates with you. I really feel like that's what's coming in here for you. So that's what they have, Virgos. Many blessings. And then Libra, we'll jump to you. Got the Page of Coins. So this new opportunity, this new abundance that's coming your way here. I do feel here for many of you, as far as renewed communication, this just feels like an opportunity is coming up, especially with your relationship energy that you have within you, that this is a person coming back from your past. Now, Can be lover, it can be friend, can be family, can even be coworker. Someone, I feel like here during Gemini season, and we talked about that in the introduction too, how this can be a period of, heightened communication, but it's like someone from the past comes back. And it's not like an ugly, like, oh God, run for your life kind of energy. It is like bumping into someone where you need resolution, where you could use resolution on something, to like heal an old relationship, an old something. But there does have here to do a lot of, I want to say, repairing a relationship and expanding the communication, reigniting communication. But I don't, it doesn't have to be that it's going to be like, oh, and then we're going to be besties or we're going to be lovers again or anything like that. It's mainly, it's like this Venus retrograde energy that we went through last month or the month before. And it's like there's this energy of, all right, they're coming across my path for me so that I can release this emotional energy. I can fix things in the physical world, because I feel like you've done a lot of inner work, but this is like a chance to feel like you've put the past behind you. So I really love that for you. Don't worry, it's not ugly. You're like, I feel like it's a relationship like, yeah, great. I've done all this inner work and I feel like I've let it go. I've forgiven myself. I feel really good about it. And you bump into them and you don't feel like you're not scared because you've already dealt with this on the inside. And you're like, oh, good. Now I can check and let this go kind of energy. So I like that. Then Taurus, got the 5 of Wands, drama. No, I'm just kidding. It's not drama energy. Well, it can be drama energy, but not for your reading in this case. So the 5 of Wands is about transformation and change of energy, and this renewed communication energy. Almost feels similar to this Page of Coins, but it's a change of perspective. I feel more than someone coming across your life. I feel like this is something that really clicks within you, and you can explore this within yourself. And it can result in renewed communication for some of you, but I don't feel like it's for everyone. But definitely this change of energy, because it starts off, if you look at here, it looks like people are fighting and battling, right? I usually, when I first, Spirit was talking to me about this card, when I first started using tarot, they showed me like a kung fu movie in my head from Kung Fu Theater that I used to watch on early Saturday mornings while I was eating my cereal. And they would always be battling and beating each other up. And this is the kind of energy where you start in the middle of a scene where people are just battling. And as they're battling, you're like, oh my God. And they eventually get where 4 of the 5, there's usually 5 ones, they're laying down on the ground, one person barely remaining standing, and you're like, oh my God, is he going to finish them off? What's happening next? And they all start laughing. And you're like, what? Wait a minute. What is going on here? They all help each other up. They all walk buddy back down this path to this monastery. They put away the wands and they go to the meal hall and have a meal together. And you realize, oh, these weren't enemies trying to hurt one another. These were friends, Buddhist monks and nuns that were battling to help each other improve their skills. And that's where we kind of have this change of energy here, as you realize any of the conflict I've had, that behind those characters is an actor, a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love that was doing those things for us. We were doing that for them. They were doing that for us. Of course, our human character, we're oblivious, but this is that awareness, that aha that comes in going, okay, it's like when I was reviewing the like 5 long-term, 5 long-term relationships that I had. Longish, 1 to 3 years is what I considered long. But when I was doing that, I was realizing, oh, these were my teachers showing me what I wanted to see about myself until I saw it. And then I really do look at them as my teachers. I don't have any angst or anything for them. I don't have a lot of communication with them either. They've all gone on with their lives as well as I have. And But if I came across them, I wouldn't have any. I wouldn't be like, I would give them a hug and go, hey, how the hell are you? But this is the kind of energy that you're able to, a renewed communication for some, but definitely exploration and realizing that. So I love that. And then to Aquarius. Aquarius, you've got the Page of Swords. Here's your air energy. Aquarian, I know you're a water bearer. You all know that this is about seeing things from definitely this higher perspective. The sword suit is this energy of communication. So I feel like it can be exploration to higher knowledge, seeing things from a different perspective, a higher perspective. And I kind of like with the Taurans here with this wands energy that was changing. This is this communication energy changing. You're seeing situations from a different perspective. Aquarius weirdness. I'm Aquarius sun, so I get it. Aquarian weirdness of, we see things differently anyway, but it's gaining a different perspective on some communication that you've had in the past. Exploring that allows you to initiate new communication with someone else. In this case, you're the one that reaches out, not the other person reaching out to you. And I do feel, I don't feel like it's, well, some of you will. I feel like it's, if you want to renew a communication with someone, it has to come from you. Whatever happened, it's like with your new approach, you doing that is what helps heal the situation. So it definitely comes from you. All right. So I like that. I know Aquarius is like, okay, why is it always me that has to reach out? But, it's just how you are, we have the babies and the adults of the zodiac. Sometimes we have to be the ones in this lifetime. Trust me, we were the ones in other lifetimes that people had to reach out to us. So tit for tat, Clarice, tit for tat. That's a Silence of the Lambs reference. Okay, anyway. That's very weird and that's very Aquarian and that's for you. All right. So Aries, we are to you. And you have the King of Coins, the King of Pentacles. This is a great energy. King of Pentacles is an abundance card. So definitely the collective reading we had also coming in very, very strong for you here. And, as far as I don't feel like this is so much renewed communication as this is exploration. The King of Pentacles, the King of Coins, one of the biggest piece of wisdom that they bring us is when we're discovering our self-worth and we're looking and go, why do I feel so unstable? Well, it's because one of the big Four of Pentacles that we learn from this king is that we're taught as humans growing up, define your self-worth by retail price, other people's opinion of you from the outside world, which isn't self-worth, but that's what we're taught. We're like, it doesn't make sense, but that's what everyone's doing. So we look to relationships. We look to situations like jobs, education, social status, etc. And things, our bodies, our bank accounts, our possessions. And when we look to those three areas, all of those are unstable. So that's why we feel unstable. Relationships. People change. People walk away. People pass away. Relationships with humans, all over the place, right? So unstable. Situations never stay the same. Things break down, deteriorate, blow up, burn down, stolen. So all that is unstable. Eventually, we grow tired of that, right? Like, I'm just so tired and disappointed with the instability of the outside world. We eventually turn inward and upward, and and that's where we find the only stable thing in this world, this dimension, actually any dimension, the eternal, unconditional love essence of the Creator, of all things, of the higher realms. When we define ourselves by that, then we are priceless. We define ourselves by the outside world, we feel unstable, and we feel like we're on a clearance rack, right? So there is this huge discovery and exploration of your self-worth during this period here, and I just feel like it's such an important leap forward in that for you. All right. And then lastly, but not leastly, we got Pisces. You have the 10 of Cups. Here is your emotional water energy coming in. And this is this joy. I feel like a big piece of this energy here rolls over into both renewed communications and exploration, because this is about choosing joy, exploring what is your joy, exploring what is keeping you from experiencing your joy. What belief have you created? What expectation of disappointment has made you feel small, restricted, blinded, bound? Where is it like, well, other people aren't reaching out to me, people don't love me, people aren't showing me these things, all the stuff I think that people are supposed to bring for me. We can explore those beliefs and be freed from them, right? Because we're all taught that, no judgment at all. We're all taught, when we're young, you made mommy sad, you made daddy mad. We're all taught as children growing up, we're responsible for everyone else's emotions, which we're not. You can give someone the world, they could still choose to be unhappy. But we're also thinking, well, if I'm responsible for everyone else's emotions, everyone else is responsible for my emotions. But that's all untrue. We have the power of emotional choice. Every moment we choose the story that we apply to everything, the emotion we apply to everything, the energy we apply to everything, and our physical actions. And we're the ones that get to decide that. Yes, we're given tons of opinion growing up about what story we're supposed to put to something, what emotion we're supposed to feel, what energy we're supposed to put towards something, the physical actions I'm supposed to react with. And we take on all those opinions as our own, and they become our habits, they become our reaction, where we don't realize we're choosing all that until we do, until we step into our power and we start to change the habit we created to think a certain way, feel a certain way, act a certain way, right? And there's this, so this is where the exploration comes in, where you get to discover that and transform that, this higher way of looking at it, going, I can choose to be happy every second if I want to. It can be kind of boring. We feel that on the other side. We're in a state of joy and unconditional love all the time on the other side. But this is one of the few experiences, or one of the many experiences, that we can feel at a lower vibration and see the difference. In understanding sadness, we understand what joy really is. And that's why one of the big reasons, anyway, we come here to experience that, so we can understand the joy of who we really are. So this is that exploration, which then, of course, can roll out into renewed communication when you have a aha and you realize, I don't need anyone to do anything for me to be happy. I'm going to be happy for just because of who I am. Then it changes, you're not disappointed in everyone not doing everything you want them to do. And then there's that freedom that comes in. And there's a great book I just started reading from Mel Robbins called The Let Them Theory. And it's amazing because it's like when we stop, well, it's not stop. We stop realizing, or we begin to realize is a better way to say it. We begin to realize that I can't control other people's moods and their choices and their actions and non-actions or silence, right? So we take all that energy we've been investing trying to control everyone else to do what we think they're supposed to do, bring all that energy back to us, and that's empowerment here. And I love this transformation that comes with that. So hopefully that makes sense. That's what they have for you, Pisces. And I'm so excited for all our adventures here. A lot of great awakenings, a lot of great energetic and emotional movement as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you are interested in a personal reading, we can go even deeper. I do offer all that. All that information is down in the description box. Also, if you want to become one of my YouTube channel members, I have 2 levels, Zen Cricket $2.99, Praying Mantis $7.99. We get together during the week, Thursday nights. We have a 2, 3, sometimes 4-hour session all together where we do unlimited tarot readings, oracle readings, past life readings, and whatever else we want to talk about. And then my Praying Mantis members, the higher level, on Friday night and Saturday night after my live sessions, and Sunday afternoon after that session, we also have time together. So if you're interested, there's a link down there for that as well. All right, my amazing Zen friends, as we're going through this adventure, remember, every second of every day of our lives, we truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. And remember, have fun. Because Spirit's been asking lately, why are you being so serious? All right. I love you guys much. We'll see you soon.